4 retired spies, 4 different countries, one night. All 4 are dead by morning. Tokyo, Bangkok, Panama City, New York. The kills are synchronized down to the minute. No witnesses, no evidence, no mistakes. Whoever is behind this isn't improvising. They've been planning it for a very long time. The next day, Elena, director of Spanish intelligence, reviews the files and connects the dots in minutes. All 4 victims served together on a classified operation buried for 30 years. A raid so catastrophic, so morally compromised, that the agency never officially acknowledged it. They called it Operation U. Elena feeds the press a clean cover story, coordinated terrorism. But off the record, she's already moving. She needs her best operative. A man who doesn't appear in any file, known in the shadows only as Agent Zeta. His real name is Tiago. Elena's helicopter lands on his front lawn. He's on personal leave. His mother is sick. He refuses. Then Elena tells him something that changes the entire equation. There was a 5th agent on that original team. He's still alive. He's next on the list. And his name is Eniaris, Tiago's biological father, the man Tiago has believed was dead his entire life. Tiago says goodbye to his mother, hires a nurse, and boards the chopper. Whatever answers he's been carrying for years, they're somewhere at the end of this. He moves fast. At Aniares' old office, his trained eye catches a pack of cigarettes on the desk. He opens each one. Inside the last, a small safe key hidden in the tobacco. He pockets it without pausing. Elena feeds him an address through his earpiece. Aniares' stepmother. When Tiago shows up at her door and says the name, she breaks down immediately. Aniares has been missing for a full month. She lets him sweep the room. He finds the safe, slides in the key. Inside, 1 flash drive. He plugs it in. A grainy video loads. Aniares appears on screen, alive, hiding, calm. He explains that an elite squad of killers is hunting down the old team one by one. He's safe in a bunker. Then, right before the screen cuts to black, he drops a set of encrypted coordinates. Tiago grabs his gear, walks to his car, and a motorbike rips past him, snatching the bag clean out of his hands. He runs. The chase burns through the city, traffic, alleys, blind corners, until Tiago corners the rider in an underground parking garage. The helmet comes off. A woman stares back at him. Her name is Alpha, Colombian intelligence. Deep cover. She isn't after the bag. She's after Aniares, to expose what really happened during Operation U. Their targets are the same. Their reasons are not. Tiago calls Elena a tense negotiation. Elena greenlights the team up. They now have coordinates, a fragile alliance, and a killer somewhere ahead of them. The coordinates lead to a public cemetery. They spot a grave marked with Aniares' own name. A janitor and a stranger are leaving flowers. Tiago moves toward them, and they bolt. It's an ambush. Mercenaries step out from every direction, laser sights tracking both of them. No exit. Tiago drops his weapon. They're thrown into a blacked-out van. Halfway to the destination, the doors open, and Alpha is pushed out onto the road. The boss only wants Tiago. The van stops, a door opens, and Tiago finally comes face to face with his father. The reunion is nothing like he imagined. Aniares is operational, guarded, survivalist. He's been paying off a private army just to stay alive. There's no warmth in the room, just 2 men measuring each other across 30 years of silence. Tiago demands the truth. Aniares deflects. Tiago doesn't move. Finally, Aniares sits down and takes him back. Colombia, 30 years ago. A Spanish-born kingpin named Trejo had built the most feared cartel in the country. He was untouchable until a single moment of vulnerability. Trejo was holding a summit with rival bosses inside a packed public festival. It was a tactical nightmare, but it was the only shot they'd ever get. The team took it. The festival became a war zone. Innocent people died in the crossfire, but Trejo went down. The mission was a success, depending on how you counted the bodies. Aniares is convinced that Trejo's son has since taken over the cartel and is now executing everyone who was there that day. Tiago tells him the plan: extract him to Bogota, into the protection of allied Colombian intelligence. Aniares calls it a suicide mission and refuses. Outside, Alpha has the bunker in her sniper scope. She'll put a round in Aniares' leg if he won't cooperate. He still won't move. So Tiago does something he never imagined. He draws his weapon on his own father and physically forces him into the car. Aniares' hired guards open fire on Alpha. A gunfight erupts in the dark. Alpha fights through, reaches the car just as Tiago pulls around the corner, and they drive hard into the night. Bogota. Elena is waiting on the tarmac. Colombian intelligence takes Aniares straight into interrogation. Tiago and Alpha are benched at a hotel. The intel chief, a woman named Dina, gets right to the question. Why was Aniares prepared when all four others were caught off guard? He admits an informant warned him a month ago. Trejo's son, a cartel boss named Esteban, had uncovered the identities of the kill squad and was moving through them systematically. Elena makes the call immediately. Esteban dies tonight. The compound goes dark. Elena's team cuts the power grid. Tiago and Alpha breach in silence. But Esteban's instincts kick in. He orders his guards to sweep the floors. The mission explodes into a close-quarters gunfight, room by room, until Tiago and Alpha reach the top. Tiago has one order: take Esteban alive. Alpha ignores it. She raises her weapon and executes him before Tiago can react. Cartel reinforcements flood the hallway. They shatter a window and fall into the dark below, barely making it out. Back at base, Aniares exhales for the first time in weeks. Elena is furious. Alpha defends the kill as survival. With the cartel's heir dead and the threat neutralized, Elena lets it go. One last conversation. Tiago corners Aniares with no mission between them, just the question he's carried his whole life. Why did you leave? This time, Aniares answers. During Operation Yue, the team had an undercover Colombian officer embedded inside Trejo's cartel. Her name was Castle. She had a personal hatred for Trejo. Deep, specific, relentless. She worked her way so completely into his inner circle that Trejo fell for her, and she used that access to hand the team the exact time and location of the festival meeting. Without Castle, Operation U doesn't happen. Trejo lives. After the mission, Aniares went back to Spain, but he and Castle found each other. They fell in love. They had a son, a boy named Tiago. The air in the room changes completely. Tiago's mother, the quiet, frail woman he left in the care of a nurse, was the undercover operative who dismantled the most powerful cartel in Colombia. When Tiago was barely a year old, the agency faked their deaths, both parents, to erase every trail. The only way to keep Castle and the baby safe was for Aniares to become a ghost, to vanish, permanently. Tiago doesn't speak. He processes it, and then they walk toward the airstrip together. For the first time, something between them feels like the beginning of something. It ends in 4 seconds. A single high-caliber round tears through the air. Aniares drops to the tarmac. Tiago falls to his knees beside him, hands pressed to the wound. Too much blood. The light already fading from Aniares' eyes. He's gone. Alpha sprints into the tree line. She corners the sniper in a clearing. She doesn't arrest him. She asks one question. Calm, precise. Where is Castle? The moment he answers, she executes him, because the sniper wasn't working for Esteban. He was working for her. Every piece of it lands at once. Alpha orchestrated everything, every assassination, every step of this mission. Esteban was a prop, a convenient story to point at while she finished her real work. 30 years ago, 2 people died in the crossfire at that festival. They weren't cartel. They weren't criminals. They were parents, her parents, in the wrong place at the wrong moment. Killed by agents following orders and not caring enough about who else was in the street. Alpha spent her entire life building toward this. 4 agents are already dead. Castle is the last name. Tiago comes home. His mother looks smaller. He says goodnight and doesn't tell her anything. Not yet. But Alpha is already inside the house. She moves toward the bedroom, and Tiago steps out of the dark, weapon raised, slamming her against the wall. He demands the truth. She gives it without flinching. Who she is, what she did, why Castle has to die. He begs her to stop. His mother is already dying. Whatever justice she's built her life around, she doesn't have to do this. Not here. Not to a sick old woman who doesn't have long left. Alpha reaches for a concealed weapon, shoots him in the chest, steps over him, walks toward the bedroom door, raises her gun. Tiago stands up. The round caught his vest. He fires. Alpha goes down. Morning comes quietly. Castle sits with Tiago in the soft early light. She starts to apologize for the secrets, for everything she buried, for every year he didn't know who she really was. Tiago stops her. He already knows why she made the choices she made. He understands the weight she carried and the love underneath all of it. He doesn't need the explanation. He just takes her hand. Outside, nothing moves. The blood trail that started 30 years ago at a festival in Colombia has finally completely run out. The cycle is over, and Tiago, for the first time in his life, is exactly where he